The Melbourne City team, of course, are into the final of that competition. Will be a big season ahead for him and Eric Lombard's team. Frankly, he'd have been disappointed had he missed the 2 chances he's converted tonight. That's what being a striker's all about, Harps. You remember well, being a former one yourself, being in the right position.
Very, very distant memory.
Here's Lecky, who sneaked in behind, trying to tee up Irvine. Taken away by Nanto Tamang. This is Dines Razbansi. Ball away just too cheaply when they do have it in Nepal, which is not too often. Good challenge though by Anjan Vista.
Terrific recovery from Matt Lecky, and just in that little exchange you can see the difference in the athletic qualities of both sets of players in that one little snapshot.
Here come again. Bajic couldn't reach it. Aramoy, deflection. Kieran Chemjong is grateful to see that one deflect behind for another corner.
What a joy it is, even just 20 minutes in, to be watching Aaron Moy in the flesh again. He's such a clever player. Another ricochet to protect the Nepal goal.
Suter got on the end of the last corner delivery from Goodwin on this side. Let's see if he can do so again. He does. He scored on international debut. Harry Suter, remember the name, from Fleetwood Town. And his mum Heather, born in WA, will be super proud at this very moment. He grew up supporting Australia. His brother plays for Scotland. He's just scored his first international goal for the Green and Gold.
Well, you're compounding the problem. They were doing well against Harry Suter when they surrounded him. And they're sort of in the proximity, the Nepal defenders, but they're not nearly tight enough. And he's just too dangerous a prospect with that extraordinary height advantage. Nice corner in, and he breaks his duck on debut on his first visit to his new home country.
Graham on, the big fan. That Big Harry told us pre-game that Suter grew up with posters of Socceroos on his wall. I wonder if one of them was Kevin Muscat.
Doubt it very much so.
Well, you never know. Already the game looks well out of sight for Nepal. 3 goals on the scoreboard, 72% possession for Australia. 10 shots already.
And at least as many ricochets besides.
Here's probably the most telling stat. 188 passes completed for Australia, just 49 for Nepal. But at least they're in a good field position here. Ranjit's throw for Anjan Vista. Another ricochet favours Sujal Shrestha, but he's run out of real estate. Played a part, and that's a big win over Spurs in the Premier League, along with teammate Matt Ryan for Brighton. Milligan, classy release for Goodwin. Behind him is Bajic. Milligan available again. Ryan Grant is bombing forward down the right, unmarked. Craig Goodwin gets the head up, tries to pick out either Lecky or Grant. And there's an acrobatic punch away from Kieran Chemjong. And now Nepal will look to counter, but Harry Suter's got that one covered, you'd fancy.
Solid stickability, if that's the word, from Anjan Vista. Showing willing to roll up the sleeves. Well, he's got short sleeves on, but you know what I mean.
Well, he'll be able to look back at the end of this game and say, I beat a Premier League player one-on-one. And Aaron Moy no less. Still, in my opinion, one of the most talented players, even at that exalted level.
Moy involved again. Irvine about to pull the trigger. It's a good challenge, in fact, from Ananta Tamang, who's maybe hurt himself in the process. Has to get back focused quickly. Ball lofted into the air. Goalkeeper Kiran is out to claim safely this time. Those early moments involving Kiran Chemjong, their captain no less, probably didn't do much to steady the nerves of Johan Carlin. There might have been 2 goals down before the first one went in from McLaren.
Well, that's his first clean take, Simon. It's a good point you raised because he's the most experienced player in the team, not just the captain, 60 caps. And it's a very young team, this Nepal team. It's your elder statesmen to whom you look to settle the nerves. And of course, he found the opening exchanges a little bit too much. And that was a very clean take on the back of that diving punch pass, if I can call it that way. I call it that. Very effective goalkeeping from him, but it's taken a while for him to find his mojo.
Well, the high ball into the box is allegedly his big weakness, so Socceroos obviously did their homework. Here's Moy. Fancy a dig here. Disguised ball instead. Beautifully done. Bayic. It's that man, Ananta Tamang, again to the rescue for Nepal.
It'll be interesting to see how Nepal set up here. The majority of the corners so far have all been in-swingers from Australia, identifying, putting the ball into areas, and they've zoned throughout the first corners and been punished a couple of times, and it'll be interesting to see how they set up here.
Bayic not offside, as you saw from that replay. Moy's delivery drops for Suter, and the whistle is gone. Relief for Nepal.
Yeah, I think a handball there. But before it got to the corner, as is Bayic with a good raid up the left-hand side. This is the resultant corner, and it's a handball there on Bailey Wright, well picked up by the ref. But as he's had a fantastic opportunity, rather than playing the ball square into the 6-yard box, to cut it back to Jackson Irvine, who's run into the penalty area, and his prop was perfect. And as is just didn't quite see it. Well, these are the solutions when we get further down the track that the likes of Aziz, Kevin, are going to have to find and mix things up with their delivery.
Yeah, and it's clear to see as well that the fact that the fullbacks and Bayic and Grant are getting forward, what that does allow is us to get a lot of Australia to get a lot of bodies into the box, because all of a sudden Goodwin, McLaren, Leckie and Irvine at times, and even Moy get into the box for those crosses.
Square by Milligan to Harry Suter. Never mind his height, he's probably feeling about 10 feet tall at the moment, after scoring on international debut. Moy. Australia get moving immediately. Ryan Grant's trying to chest it down into the path of Leckie. Not quite. Devendra Tamang swept it away. Off the head of Wright. Touched back by Leckie. Disguised pass by Moy. Good work in tight spaces by Matthew Leckie. Bayic will continue his run. Just clipped the ball off and onto the hand of his opponent, Vishal Wright. Free kick. Irvine leaves it for Goodwin. Bayic. At times they just have too many options, Australia. found the gap for Moy. He's dragged down the edge of the box. Another free kick. Easy decision.
Yeah, this is starting to look particularly worrying. So Nepal have been set up. They're covering spaces reasonably well. Their links to each other's teammates defensively are good. The coaches set them out nicely, but individually now they're lacking that intensity. Australia making unchallenged progress right up the field. Plenty of space starting to be found, or gifted really, right around the penalty area. And I'm getting before you, Simon. There's a potential avalanche awaiting. Boom.
Farah Moy fancies this.
That's 2-1 to me.
Yeah, you're winning. Aaron Moy, and the wall did its job. Flicked up and over, other corner.
Do we have, if we don't, we should start keeping them, stats for ricochets. This is double figures at least. Good defensive wall, credit to it. Leapt in unison, glanced the ball over.
Sutar waiting again, a good position. Moy's delivery. And it'll pop for Milligan, who somehow finds a gap. The goalkeeper just hits him, I think. Kiran, he's grateful it did. Came through a whole crowd of players.
But that was a better defensive set. Firstly, from the defensive wall, commented on that. Then Rohit does excellently to clear the ball. Milligan does brilliantly to make space, and this is really soft handwork from the goalkeeper. That's bounced off another metre in the opening 2 minutes, but he's really found himself now, thankfully, for the sake of the contest, the Nepal keeper and captain.
He was the I-League goalkeeper of the year back in 17-18, Kiran Chemjong. So he's got a bit of pedigree. Here's Lecky, being pursued by Sujal Shrestha. They work it back through Milligan. Grant always available. Puts it up in the air. Could be another chance of offside against Craig Goodwin. Wouldn't have counted.
Well, this has worked beautifully, and this is a part of Ryan Grant's game that doesn't get enough comment. The quality of the touch. Firstly, made the space beautifully. That is a delightful pass. Jackson Irvine was the man offside, correctly adjudged as such by the assistant, and interfered with play by jumping at the ball there. Craig Goodwin was legal, but it was Jackson Irvine who was offside. But excellent work, beautiful touch on that. Delivery from Ryan Grant, outstanding work.
Good pick-up, Hobbs. Grant has beaten McLaren. Looking at the clock and thinking if we can get through to half-time perhaps without further damage, we can reset. It has been one-way traffic. Nepal yet to register a single shot.
Kevin, I'll ask you this question. And Australian teams don't face the same physical athletic gulf between us and our opponent's national team or club. I'm thinking now particularly through Champions League experience. However, when you get a sec.
Here's Bajic, nutmegs the defender, looking for McLaren. Good take again by Kiran. He is grown into the game.
Well, this is another example of Aziz making great ground. And he has options rather than across the line of the penalty area to cut it back to oncoming midfielders. He attacks with great instinct, Aziz Bajic, and he's just got to get, the team has to get him to find a better end product, because look at the queue of gold shirts around the penalty area. So Kevin, I'll just get back to you on that. On the times in Champions League matches when you're up against, say, the Japanese clubs, fantastic Korean athletes, Japanese athletes, how do you address that, which is Nepal's issue at the moment from the bench?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Get your thoughts in a minute, Muskie, because Australia building another attack. Goodwin headed away by Nanta Tabang. On you go, Muskie.
You're right. The gulf between us travelling across in the Champions League is not as big as what we're witnessing tonight, without doubt. But particularly away from home with the different conditions, and the key is what you're trying to what you try to eliminate that by is having more possession, and that's something that we've clearly got here tonight, is an abundance of possession. And going forward, when we're playing against better teams, the emphasis has got to be to remain or to keep that type of possession, because as we've seen tonight, I mean, Nepal have dropped off 20-30 yards further than they did in the first 5 minutes after their first goal. So, you're trying to negate it by, firstly keeping more possession.
Kieran's got to be quick here. He would be best advised to get it out of play, which Ranjit does.
Yeah, so only that possession halves is 9/10, and I think that the further you go up and the harder teams that you play against, we don't look to that possession as valuable as it is clearly here tonight for us.
This time by Milligan, and Jan Bista felt the full weight of this. National hero after scoring those 2 goals against Chinese Taipei in the last qualifier. Plays for the Manang Marshangbi club, who are the champions of Nepal. There's Bista. A competition that only just restarted last year after a 5-year hiatus.
I was just going to chime in with that, Simon. And you'd reported that, and it's of course widely reported, but that's part of the context for tonight. The bulk, 99% of these players, are ensconced in their domestic league, and it's been completely on again, off again, mostly off again recently. So to prepare a national team from that backdrop, a very, very difficult assignment. That they're at all competitive is a credit to them.
That's perhaps why Anjan Bista earns a bit of extra money. There he is on the ball, rather casually so, as a singer.
Well, I was going to say, he's like Nepal's Joey Seat. Is he going to take a leave of absence and go and start a rap career?
You never know. You never know. Joey Seager will not feature in the new A-League season, which of course kicks off tomorrow night in Adelaide. Adelaide United against Sydney, the cup holders against the champions. Can't wait for the new campaign. It's going to be a great season. Touch and turn by Goodwin. He's seen a lot of the ball. Advantage played. Goodwin again with the cutback, looking for Leckie. Might still drop for him. Only partly away. Milligan drove it straight into Devendra Tamang. Australia buzzing around the box again. A slip by Leckie. Moy thumps it goalwards. Vishal Rai got the full brunt of that one and has remained down inside the penalty area. Might have even got it full on the noggin, I think. Vishal Rai, but Australia were just peppering the Nepal goal there.
Oh, the Aussies pumped a couple of heavy hits into the penalty area. Milligan doesn't muck around. I mean, there's not many more pure strikers of football than Mark Milligan. And speaking of, it's probably Aaron Moy. And that is a fuzzball, that one. His head will be ringing. This, to me, is a concern. Due concern being shown by the match officials and the medical staff.
A real bell ringer, Robbie Slater, down on the pitch side.
Yeah, look, that one hurt, especially when it's cold. Look, he's obviously not feeling as cold as us, particularly me with my 2 big toes frozen down here pitch side. But look, hit from that range, we know how hard Aaron Moy can strike a ball. That certainly would have the medical staff worried. But just something I've noticed in the last few minutes is they're starting to find a few players in the space. Most of the game it's been wingers tucking in, Ryan Grant as his badge, that's continuing, but just before, and when you get the ball in between the lines, the ability to turn and then eliminate a defensive midfielder really opens it up and cause that little flurry there, which ended with that fierce drive from Aaron Moy.
Thanks, Robbie. 6 of Australia's 14 shots have been blocked. Unfortunately, still searching for the ricochet stats, Harps, but I'm sure that's up near double figures. Here's a chance for Nepal. Hear their fans roar whenever they get over halfway. Sujal Shrestha on the ball. Ranjit's in advance of him. Can they at least fashion an opportunity? Imagine the noise here if they scored. Rohit Chand. No way through. They win it back through Ananta Tamang. Now with Dines Razbansi. Looking for the ball over the top, and it has to be pretty accurate to get over the top of Harry Suter. Abhishek Rizal appealing forlornly for a foul, which the referee was never likely to give. And order is quickly restored. It's Jackson Irvine with space and time. Nepal back in numbers now. Aaron Moy to drive edge of the box. Never really looked likely.
Well, he should fancy himself tonight, Aaron Moy. Wonderful conditions to play on just a beautiful surface. And he's going to get plenty of opportunity like this, and why not fire away? It's such a key for the Australian team, not just tonight, but throughout what we're hoping is a successful campaign for Graham Arnold.
Just on Graham Arnold, Kevin. Obviously a game in Chinese Taipei to come in a few days' time. Second half, you think you might be looking at a few of his key players and thinking, right, okay, game's won. Time to have a breather and get yourself set up for Tuesday.
He'd have a plan in place about who's not going to be playing on Tuesday in the next game, and that'll affect obviously who comes off and who stays on in the second half here tonight.
There's the Australian bench. Look a bit chilly, don't they?
नेपाल कस्तो हुँदैन यार 3 गोल पड्काइसक्यो अनि अस्ट्रेलियाले के गर्नु
Brandon Borello hoping for another opportunity. Here's Goodwin, who's replaced him on that left flank tonight. Back through Moy. And the intervention by Anjan Vista, who will carry it forward. It's a good chase back by Leckie.
Mate, he's just monstered by Matthew Leckie, which is no disgrace on Anjan Vista. And Leckie is a fearsome athlete. He just chewed him up.
Passes continue to rack up for Australia. They're almost up around the 350 mark. Milligan. His guys to the byline for Badge, looking to hang it up to that back post. He didn't really wrap his boot around it. Disappointing from Aziz Badge.
Well, the good news is he did deliver one cross which resulted in the Jamie McLaren goal. Found Ryan Grant, who's headed square back across for Jamie McLaren, but otherwise this is a real area marked for improvement for Aziz.
Busy team talk, you'd fancy, coming up for Johan Carlin.
He was saying pre-game that the bulk of his coaching career is in coach education. And certainly loving the opportunity of being in the hot seat for a game the likes of Australia.
Here's a chance. Well, I guess we count that as a shot from Abhishek Rizal. Tame as it was. But why not, Andy? Chance to cover yourself in glory if he catches it right. Be a national hero. Fortunately for him, he didn't. Australia had one more before the break. They were 3-0 up, you'll remember, against Kuwait at the interval. They're into 1 additional minute at the end of the first half. A chance for you to give us your summary. It's been pretty much one-way traffic.
It has, and given that the Socceroos have grown into the half, well.
Could be another one here. Jackson Irvine, little slip by Ranjini, recovered well.
It's one of those games where, you've got everything to lose, really, because everyone expects plenty of goals and plenty of efforts on goal. And Graham Arnold, I think, given the circumstances, will be reasonably happy.
Here's Leckie, deflection, it's 4. Oh, hang on, flags up. Flags up, it's not going to count. Matthew Leckie thought he'd given the Socceroos a 4-0 lead. The referee is taking counsel from his linesman. There was a deflection on the way through. The flag popped up immediately, and the referee blew his whistle.
Interesting replay this one's going to be, because the deflection was clearly from it should stand.
Should be 4. Well, that's a boo-boo from the referee, and Matthew Leckie is going to go and have a conversation with him. It might not make any difference to the end results, but Matthew Leckie wanted a 4th goal, and so too did Graham Arnold, and really they should have had one. That's an error by the officials, which means the first half ends on a bit of a sour note. The positives are a double for Jamie McLaren, a first international goal for Harry Sutar, and to be honest, it might have been a few more. Nepal, several rungs below the Socceroos, and at the break, Australia well set. They lead the Nepalese by 3 goals to 0.
Yeah, what a strong start it has been from our Socceroos.
ल हेर पुरै घाइते छ त हो नि गेमै उत भइहाल्यो नि अब